Hey, don't kink shame. You're the one that likes bowing. Come on.
What's wrong with
like,
that?
Oh,
It's a kink that not everybody is like cool
It's
with.
not even a kink. I don't think it's a kink.
that is a kink.
Definitely.
Everything.
How's it a
what
kink?
context?
It's submissive.
He's hella subby.
Their round meatball donated
Whoa.
$200.
You like some Dommy mommy
Gross.
shit, huh?
Nah.
Yeah.
You donated $200 and you only said one word.
Facts, bro. Facts. Okay. Wait,
Why don't you
you
just-
think I'm a sub?
I'm asking.
You think I'm a sub?
Well, I don't know the backstory to you wanting
I
to
should be
bow.
insulted.
No, he likes
No,
subs.
if you like to
Bowing?
bow,
Wait.
that's subby
she's
behavior.
saying-
You're
She said- no,
insulting
I thought you
sub
said-
men.
I'm sub.
No, you like
Well,
subs.
explain your bow
Wait, are you saying you like girls to bow to you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
thought you were
he's
saying
into
like I don't know the backstory. I
you
just
think
heard the
I'm
bowing
gonna? You
thing.
think I'm gonna hit a bow?
No, I don't.
I could see you being a switch.
How?
I wouldn't say like fully sub.
She
but I
wanted,
could
this
see
girl
some
is
switch.
already ready to peg me. Okay, great. She wants to take me home after the podcast, strap it on, and just right. That's why. That's
I'm
why.
not
There,
opposed
that's
to
why.
something like that. Like
I think
whatever.
I know. Look, all this narcissist shit, bullshit. You were trying to. You wanted to peg your husband.
No,
He wasn't down.
Actually, no.
He wasn't
He
down.
would have been down.
He wasn't.
I don't want to say too much. Listen,
sorry.
that
I'm
is
not
Wait,
not
gonna
the
yell.
case.
you're saying you were you
If a man wanted
sodomizing
to be,
your husband?
No, but if a guy was into that, like if
You
he wanted
would-
to get pegged, I'd peg him.
you
I
would-
probably wouldn't date that guy, but
You
like
would do
whatever.
it. Wait, didn't
Yeah.
you say you wouldn't date a guy who's bi?
Yeah, I wouldn't. But I can guarantee you that.
But you'd be
wouldn't
fine.
date
You know
that.
what? I
would-
don't want to
you
say
would
too
be
much. 'cause my
fine
kids.
putting a dude in doggy style and penetrating him anally.
So I've had submissives before, so yeah. But like I wouldn't romantically.
So
like, I
you're a
wouldn't want to
switch
date them. You could say, well, I don't know. I don't like to be fully like. You're not gonna be like, yeah, you dirty little. No, you're not gonna do that to me.
Oh,
but I'm cool
well, that's
like,
degradation.
which is
You
a
could
part
you
of
could
domination.
still be sub. Well, you don't have to do.
I guess it just depends on the level of dominance. But
you could be like a gentle dom.
yeah, for sure.
You don't have to like be degrading or even
Yeah.
do masochism
Yeah.
or sadism or whatever. You can just
So then, yeah, I
be in
guess I'm switchy.
charge, let's say. But okay. Oh, the bear shit. Okay, boys. We've been talking about this man or bear conversation for a month now. Now, California, Nick, pull up the page, the Google page. Boys, there was a bear attack and a bear killing. A woman, this is the first fatal, black bear.
picked the
Maybe
bear,
there
I
was a
guess.
brown bear.
No, she picked the bear.
In California. Wait, 2023.
No, it's
Wait,
sad.
2023. Woman, hold on. 2 days ago. I thought this was brand new. Scroll down a little bit. Lots of news articles. CNN, Sky News, NBC, USA Today, AP News, CBS. California confirms first fatal black bear attack. Oh, there are probably brown bears and grizzly bear attacks. Okay, it was a black bear. These girls saying, oh, well, if it's a black bear, it might be friendly. Scroll down a little bit.
Stupid.
Fatal black bear attack. It's been in the news. Pull it, Nick, scroll up a little bit.
Where?
Or just right there. CNN 2 days ago. Patrice Miller, 71, was just leave it.
Okay, but I don't think she was
found
like.
dead.
So it broke into her home.
But a recently released
Wild.
autopsy report by
Found
California's.
it in her home.
Fuck it. Click that CNN shit. Wait, actually, fuck CNN.
I mean,
fuck
she might have
CNN.
already been.
Scroll back up.
You're gonna have a paywall, so.
We're gonna do. We'll do Sky News. Let's see Sky
That's
News.
terrifying.
I'll allow Sky
At least she
News.
was at the end
They're
of her
kind
life.
of okay.
They're Australian.
Woman found dead in mountains was victim of state's first fatal bear attack. She was autopsy confirmed she was mauled to death in the teeny mountainous. How do you fucking say that?
Mountainous.
Mountainous.
Sorry for your losses,
Mountainous.
Miller.
Mountainous.
It's mountain.
Mountainous.
It's mountainous.
Mountainous.
Definitely
Sierra-
mountainous.
Sorry,
Don't be
sorry
dumb,
for the
ladies.
loss.
Sensitive
That's
here.
horrible.
Uh,
Like, what is life? We're in the Matrix.
So, fuck, I should have asked the goddamn bear question first. God dang.
Ask the bear question.
All right, I should have asked it before I pulled up the freaking article, because now maybe it's gonna skew things.
Yeah.
Start on that side of the table.
No.
Well, I'm gonna be yapping, and you know this.
He's got to prove his dominance now. You can't tell
Okay,
him what to
so going around the table, would you rather come across a random man or a random bear in the woods? Starting with you.
I've done both multiple times. I literally.
You've had sexual intercourse with a man and a bear?
What?
What do you mean
How would
you've
you frame this
done?
question?
Define done.
Well, I used
Carnal
to
knowledge?
hitchhike the country. Like I was practically homeless. I just wanted to travel, and in certain more rural areas, I would go walking, looking for my place to camp for the night, I would come across bears. And then sometimes if I were like more in cities, I have literally slept in the woods right next to some bums that I didn't even say hi to. I just walked up and I was like, hey.
Are you
well, if I
going to
just
arrive
said-
at the point soon? Can you arrive at the point?
The point. See, I told you I was going to yap, but I've
Do you want
done
to just
both.
answer the question?
Bear did not kill me. The man did not try nothing.
Beautiful.
So this is the silliest argument. Man, but the bear's also cute, like,
Huh.
for the
bear's
sake
cute?
of, yeah, the bear's cute.
What about you?
I'd probably choose bear over man in the middle of the woods, just because men are unpredictable, and the bear, I know if I poke it with a stick, then it's a dumb way to die. You know, I'm not poking the bear with a stick. We can.
What if you don't
be
poke-
friends?
You can be friends with the bear?
For sure. Give it some food and stuff. He'll be very happy.
I've run into a bear.
You are
with
the food.
babies, too.
What about
I
you?
would
choose the
still,
man.
like, I'm
Choosing
here.
the man?
Man.
Man.
100% the dude.
Man.
Okay. I shouldn't have shown that the news
Well, I was
article.
gonna-
I don't think
we
it would have
actually talked
mattered.
about this before
What-
we even
what-
come
what
in,
did it-
Frame
and
the
our answer was the
question
same.
No, it
What did
wouldn't
it
have.
You have to be
change?
No.
We already
ominous
knew.
about it. You have to be ominous about
Actually,
like,
it did change
rather-
it because
If
I
you-
didn't.
Wait, really?
No.
The chances of a guy.
Wait, so you would have said bear?
I would have probably said a black bear because I feel like
Okay. Well,
in
so
media
your
there
answer
was-
would have been black bear.
black bear. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I don't
black
understand
bears,
with
no
the
brown
question
bears.
is like the chances of, if you're in the woods, you're there for a reason, whether you're camping, hiking, whatever the case is. And I'm not saying that this is across, the board blanket wise, but I'm pretty sure the dude is probably there for the same reasons. I mean, I'm not saying that every single time you go to the woods and a guy's in the woods that he's looking to kill you, rape you, or do
Use
terrible things to you. So I don't see that necessarily being the first thing that's going to happen. So I
Well,
would
the
take my chances.
scenario, the better way to think of it, because a lot of people think like, well, what's the man doing there? I think it's kind of irrelevant to the question. The scenario would better just be described as you randomly get dropped in the woods, along with randomly getting dropped in the woods with a man or a bear, and you will cross paths with them. So the motivations of why are they there are kind of irrelevant
Exactly.
in this scenario. You picked bear. Why is that?
Because in some cases, the bear can be safer than the man.
And in what scenario will a bear ever be safer than a man? And a man you have a chance to fight against. A bear you do not.
A man could also, more likely than not, would. Well, okay, go ahead, make your argument why.
I just feel like I don't fuck with the bear. Oh, if I don't mess with the bear and the bear doesn't mess with me, we're good. But men, you don't know. I mean, sometimes I talk to guys and just me being nice to them, they think I'm trying to move to the next base, and I'm like, bro, I'm just being nice to you. Like, I'm so good.
Okay, and in those situations where maybe the guy was not reading the signals correctly, did he end up murdering you?
Well, no.
Oh, okay. But you felt uncomfortable.
You could say almost. You never know.
Almost.
Really? So all those times where the guy misread the signals, you were on the verge of being murdered? But you just
Most
luckily-
certainly, dude.
You never know.
I bet he had like a butter knife in his back pocket waiting for the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, butter knife. That would be a good way to.
Some weird kinks out
Probably
there.
a spoon.
I think the only fair argument there, sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
I think the only fair argument is like people in general, men or women, can be more like calculated, right? And manipulative, whereas like an animal's kind of just going to react, whereas like
Yeah.
a person could possibly act like they don't have bad intent and then actually have bad intent. I think that's the only argument I would say for choosing the bear.
Yeah.
Does that make
I don't
sense?
know. I've been
It's a
actually.
fair argument. An animal's
Yeah.
more predictable.
Like I'm going to assume that a bear might do something aggressive so I can be ready for it, but like a person, a man could like pretend that they have good intent and then kind of get you to let your guard down and then not. But I mean, the men that I'm running into on the trail, I'm a big trail runner. I have never knocked on something, and I'm in some really remote places, run into a man who is trying to hurt me in the wilderness ever.
Well, just here in LA, there was homeless guys randomly attacking women running on the beach.
Oh, that's
on
like
the-
in
that's in
New
the
York.
city, though.
That's in like New
Okay,
York where
but-
they're like
so-
punching women.
Exactly.
It's different.
Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I'm not trying to make the argument here that there aren't bad men.
Can we change the animal? Could it be like an elephant?
Okay.
A hippo, but
Hippos are
Hippos are
terrifying.
terrifying.
But you're like super outdoorsy, right? Like,
Very.
do you do van life?
I lived in a van for 2 years.
Okay, and you're running. You do trail running. So, I mean, how many times a week would you be out running in the wilderness alone? I guess.
I mean, when I'm in peak training, I'm running up at like 12,500 feet for like 40, 50 miles a week. So I'm spending hours and hours. I'm talking like no cell service, completely by myself. And I do carry something.
Yeah.
I also have a really strong dog. So he's a very good deterrent. But I mean, still, if someone has a gun or a knife, you know, and had really
Right.
bad intent,
So,
that's not going to do much.
Like, how many individual times would you say you've like been out in the wilderness? Over 1,000 times?
Easily. I've been trail running for like 7-8
Like
years.
where you're alone. And how many times would you say you've like maybe crossed an individual man when you're out there?
Maybe like 15, 20, just because where I run is so remote.
It's super remote, so it's
Yeah.
rare for you to even encounter anybody.
Very rare, but
Okay.
I've never felt unsafe. I'm always like
Right.
aware, you know, and kind
Yeah.
of wary, but I've never felt threatened or had anything
Yeah.
happen.
And
So,
of the times you did encounter men, is it just you literally pass them and it's like a little nod or hi and that's it? You just walk past each other?
yes, I think maybe I've just been lucky. I do think like there's an element of luck here. You know, I know that bad things can happen to people and sometimes they're not asking for it, you know, but I feel like the men that I've passed were kind of aware of the circumstances, of the fact that we were alone, and were aware of the fact that they are a man and we were in the middle of nowhere. And maybe I've just been lucky, but I felt that they were very respectful of that. So
Their Almed Meatball donated $200. Has anyone on this panel ever run into a bear before? How safe did you feel?
I have in Alaska.
Same.
But I was in a car.
There was no harm
You're in a car?
Yeah.
in a car.
Car?
and I've run into probably about, I would say, 5 to 6 black bears since I've lived in Colorado, like 10 feet away, and they
I
all
see.
just leave you
Go
be.
about their day, yeah, same. I've run into about 5 or 6, and one time, not counting the cubs, it was a mom with 2 cubs, and yeah, it was about like 10, 15 feet away, and I was excited. I didn't feel any fear, and I was just like, oh, that's so cute. And
I was terrified.
Really?
You're braver than
I
I
sat
am.
in my
I was
car for
scared.
30 minutes last night because there was a raccoon outside. I was so scared to get in my
Raccoons
house.
are mean. That was smart.
I actually
yeah.
got
They're super
bit by a barracuda, and it was like over 100 barracuda. They're about that big. And one of them bit me, and I started bleeding, and I just held my finger and like swam to shore. But my heart rate did not even skip a beat. I don't know. I have like survival instincts like a motherfucker, I guess.
Or you're a beautiful psychopath.
Definitely not a psychopath. I'm very emotional. But hey, we both lived in vans before. Woo! Yes,
Van
ma'am.
life.
Wow, commonality. Yes,
I mean, it's not
queen.
that common.
I'm
I
more
watched-
boring than you.
I
Wait,
watched-
it's okay. Hold on, just going back to you since you said bear, and you were gonna say bear. I'm gonna just say your answer was bear.
My
because-
answer was bear. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So why? Why bear?
Because I'm an irrational human being.
Oh, that's a good.
my.
That's actually probably the best answer I've heard on that. You at least you're self-aware of that it's an irrational
Fear.
answer. And so, really quick, going back to you. So you, like, how many times per week would you go out into the wilderness? Like, 5 days a week?
It depends on the time of the year, obviously. But in the summer, I'd say at least 2-3 times a week. I'm up pretty high.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Good to know. Good to know. So, okay, couple questions for you on this bear thing. So, you think you'd rather be with a bear than the man. So, what do you think the chances are if we select a random man from the United States population? What do you think the chances are that if placed in this scenario that the man would opt to victimize you in some way?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, give us a percentage. 20%, 30%, 40, 50%?
Well, it depends on what victimizing means to you.
Anywhere from, say, touching you inappropriately to all the way to murder.
I would say probably like 40%.
40%. And is that 40% of men would touch you inappropriately? Do you have a lower percentage for how many would murder you, or still 40%?
I just think it's like 40% for more like men touching inappropriately. Because just like my
Okay.
experience in like school with dudes, like going through puberty, like there was this one kid that literally would like walk behind all the girls with big butts and just like smack them and run away.
Yeah, that's wrong.
And,
So this was how old were you?
in middle school.
Yikes. Okay, well, that's wrong of him to do, 100%. But are you kind of arguing that 40% of the boys that you went to school with touched you or other women inappropriately?
Okay, maybe like 20%.
Okay, so just to be clear, if there were 1,000, say there were 1,000 boys, that would be 400 of the boys, or 200 of the boys in the case of 20%. 200 of the boys in the school were touching the women inappropriately.
They would shut the school down.
Is that your recollection of your middle school
I
experience?
just feel like dudes, before they have any common sense, just do stupid stuff. And then women are like, what do I do about this? Like, what do I do? Some women don't even say anything. They get touched inappropriately, and they were never even taught that they were touched inappropriately. So they're just like, but I feel like if we did a statistic and women had to like, if we had like a poll, like how many women were touched inappropriately in their time and didn't say anything, I feel like it would be a higher number than people would expect.
I think there is a
That's what the whole Me Too movement was about. That's what the whole Me Too movement was about, is that every woman has been through something like that.
Yeah, so I'd have to say like 40%. I feel like 50 is too many, but I definitely feel like 40%.
I know.
Like men don't like. I feel like
So I feel like it's actually a smaller percentage of men, but it's the percentage of men, they're doing it more. So the percentage of men is probably like maybe 5-10%. But that percentage of men is doing so much SA or enough SA to where it's affecting multiple women.
What constitutes SA to
Right.
you?
For me, anytime that a man inappropriately touches me or holds me against my will.
And I don't mean to put you on the spot. I'm
No, that's fine.
genuinely curious. So, like, if a man were to come up and like put his hand on your shoulder, you're not saying that would be SA.
I think it would be a violation of my privacy, but it would not be sexual assault.
So can we try to narrow in here on a number in terms of the men, random man, what percentage of men do you think would opt to victimize you in some way in this scenario?
Should say 5.
I feel like they don't opt. I just feel like sometimes they do it and they don't know that they're doing it. Like,
Okay, fine. They're
so maybe
doing
like
it
20%.
whether they're doing it
maybe
unconsciously
I
or
would say 20%.
consciously.
I think that's like a really good percentage.
20%.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say that there's 160 million men in the United States. 20% of that would be, oh, my math here is going to be fucked.
Might not be any better.
30 something million? Let's just say around 30. So you think 30 million men in the United States in this situation would choose to victimize you in some way?
Maybe women in general, not just me.
Or, well,
You're the one on the hike.
that
But
would that
I'm the one-
do you
oh,
think
on a
30
hike.
do you think 30 million men in the United States throughout the course of their life will victimize a woman in some way?
Probably.
30
Yeah,
million
probably.
men?
I mean, America's pretty good with the rules and things, and I feel like we have more morals than other countries. But I
What's
feel like
the
if we
current
go into
prison
other
population?
countries,
Hold on.
the numbers
Prison
might get higher.
population, So the current prison population, let's see, is over 1 million. It's 1.2 million.
In the United
And this
States?
this includes, huh?
In the United States?
Yeah, 1.2 million. That's the current prison population in the United States, and this is going to include financial crimes. It's going to include drug-related crimes, men who are violent towards other men. So obviously, you know, there are people who commit crimes, get away with it, they don't get in trouble, etc. There are men who are released. But I mean, don't you think, given this number I've provided, that it's probably unlikely that 30 million men in the United States would choose to victimize you?
They probably have at some point in their lifetime.
You think 30 million men would
At some point.
at some
and
point.
you're making
No.
a very like broad definition of SA too. So that's like, what about like?
No. Well, I'm including like murder
It's probably 5%.
in this.
Okay, but this is a
even-
logical fallacy
that's a
because
lot.
just because there's that many millions of people in prison right now, that's not like a broad overview of people who have gotten out of prison, haven't gone to prison yet.
Yeah, I
and then
mentioned
you,
that.
Right.
Yeah,
so then
people
you do
can-
have to account for that. And you
Okay,
also
let's
have
just
to
double
Do
it.
the math
Fine,
and
we'll
see
double
how
it.
many people are in prison for
Rape and
rape or
I'm sorry.
sexual
Guys,
assault.
just
He did
say
mention the
SA.
ones that haven't been reported, so
Or,
maybe
sorry.
add a little bit more for that because that's very common.
What?
Women who don't report the
Oh,
essay.
yeah.
So it's
I think
really hard
40%
to
's
look at
valid.
statistics in this way when it's such a nuanced.
I think if you looked at the whole entire world.
Well, how about why don't you tell
40%?
us what percentage of men you think would choose to victimize somebody in these circumstances?
Okay, who I think would actively do it.
What percentage?
I don't think it's 40%. I mean, I can't really say. I mean, I've encountered things like that myself, but I also know a lot of really good men, and the other guys are like outliers. I don't know, maybe 20%.
Still a lot of men. 20%. Again, that's what, 30 million or something.
At least once in their whole lifetime with this whole broad, very vague.
No, most men are
It's probably
throughout their
5 to
whole
10.
lifetime are never going to commit a violent crime.
I think it is a smaller percentage of
Very
men
small
doing a
percentage.
lot of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
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 Because
I
like
mean-
20, that's a lot. That's a lot.
You would think that the hobos in the woods that I like camp next to would be in the like demographic that's higher percentage to do something like that. I don't know if I would phrase that right, but
No.
you would think that they would be in that higher percentage, and yet no one bothered me. I did have a bum like throw his shit bucket at me once. but-
I
I was a correctional
think-
officer, and we see stuff like that all the time.
I think another important thing
Wait,
to
you're a
know.
what?
I was a correctional officer
you-
at one point.
Okay. What? Go ahead.
Another important thing to note, I guess, is not necessarily how many men are actually doing it, but how many men, given the circumstances, would do it. And that is probably higher than what's actually happening.
Do you mean
Because
if there were no consequences?
if there were no consequences for it.
40.
There was actually an
So
experiment.
no, you think no consequences they would?
Yes. That's,
I can say I
that's
think it's
the
beautiful
history
that
of-
you don't think that. I think you're projecting a very good internal world
That's the history of
that you don't think that.
What about? I mean, the
People have been
So are you saying
pillaged.
like no criminal consequences?
Yeah, no criminal consequences.
Yeah. What about the consequences of your mind to
Or-
do that?
Well, that too, but I think that's okay. Then let's roll out culture and shaming because there's culture and shaming associated with SA. So if you didn't have that present, I mean, this is kind of like you're going to have a lot more because I feel like it's a natural inclination for men to want to dominate women and
Wait, hold
be
on.
aggressive.
You think it's a natural inclination for men to want to dominate?
women?
Maybe not
But
dominate.
but the
like,
context of the conversation here is SA. So when you say dominate, you mean it's in men's nature to want to SA women?
If you're considering the definition of SA to be like any form of inappropriate gesture or touching, then yes, I feel like a lot of men would do that.
If we were going by
give
thought,
give me a percentage.
like,
What percentage of men would do it?
15.
15? Okay. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I just, well, I mean, what we do for work, like the amount of men that make comments that are just like insane. And it's like, if it was a percentage by like, if there was no like liability for doing that, I feel like it would easily be 40%. Like men would just be
What do you mean the
walking around.
men that make comments? What do you mean? Okay. Men send you messages like what? Nice titties. I want to fuck you.
People say crazy things. Like
You're a sex
crazy.
worker.
Exactly. I mean,
Are you
that's,
Yeah.
like,
that's the world that you decided to be
Oh,
involved
no,
in.
I know. But it's just like.
It's probably
And that's
knowing
different than
that.
actually like doing something
That's not
physically to
SA,
you, right?
right.
Like
It's
actually
probably-
showing
Well, I
that
think she's
person.
factoring into
Yeah,
the
it's not-
hypothetical
it's not
of no
SA for
consequences.
guys.
Yeah, the
I think
hypothetical.
that's-
And if they
I
were
don't
there.
think men should be.
Yeah.
I don't think men should be sending you like sexually inappropriate messages, but that's not SA. for a guy to be like,
no.
"Oh, nice titties, I want to."
Could you ever?
No,
could
she's
you
just
ever
saying
commit
based on
essay
those comments,
via,
that's
like,
why her view is that it would be so many. 'Cause
Like,
she
if
gets
it was
so many
legal?
comments like that.
If what was legal?
If it was legal for men to just do whatever to women, I mean, in other countries, I mean, the stuff that happens to women, that, I mean, if we did a percentage of the entire planet in the countries that, like, women don't have rights.
Well, I don't know about the like. I'm not sure what country in specific you're talking about, but
Probably
perhaps there are some
Saudi
countries
Arabia.
where this is a more common occurrence, but I can't really speak to that.
Yeah.
So
Shoot, I can't remember what I was gonna say.
I got I got a question. So for those of you who say bear, if we go to any zoo in the world and you go to a zoo that has a bear enclosure, now take note that there will be men and women outside the enclosure. Why are none of the women jumping into the enclosure to escape from the men?
Cultural shaming.
Why haven't we ever heard of that happening? Cultural shaming, that's the reason?
Because why would a man like essay someone in a public space like a zoo?
I don't know, maybe it's late
It's
late
probably
at
happening.
night. There's nobody around, right? Opportunity.
If a man was trying to essay me in a public space, I wouldn't jump into the enclosure with the bear unless I felt like the bear would avenge me.
Yes.
The bear would offend you. Okay. Nick, could you pull up that the meme thing or whatever about the bear?
I feel like we've been talking about the bear for now.
Yeah.
Right?
Wait, it's apparently doing
In
well.
hypothetical essay
All right.
situations.
10,000 lives?
Maddie, can you read this?
Brown
Project
bear,
engineer.
up to 9 feet tall
terrifying.
standing, up to 1,300 pounds, claws up to 4 inches, bite force 1,200 psi, pelt/fur up to 5 inches, speed up to 35 miles per hour. Kyle, 5'10", ew, 174 pounds, project engineer, said hi to you at the gym.
Kyle's hot.
Bro, this is exactly it, dude. That's exactly it. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But
I mean, I did preface that I'm irrational.
can I ask you guys here, you said bear. If me and Nick were the two men here in the studio, if we just transformed into bears right now, do you guys think you'd be safer?
Two bears in one room? All of us?
Me and Nick, right now, just instantly transformed into two bears. You think you'd be more safe or less safe?
Definitely less safe.
Are you still you?
Two bears in this room right now, like right
Do you
here,
have your
like you're a
mind?
bear right there, bam.
I just, boom,
Definitely less safe.
transform into a bear.
Wait, not safe at all.
Okay.
Like conscious-wise
place?
as well.
What if they turned into the bears from Mortal Kombat?
There's bears in
Oh.
Mortal Kombat?
But,
Yeah, that would really be dangerous.
Good one.
Crazy.
That's
Maybe
good.
it's the Berenstein Bears, you know? I mean, it could be more safe.
Let me
No?
ask you another question. If you were in a bathroom, would you rather a man or a bear wanders in?
That's a good question.
Just say the man.
Good question. That's different.
Well, if a man's coming into a bathroom that I'm in, then definitely the bear. Because why is a man walking into the female's
it's
bathroom?
So what if it's like a transgender woman?
Then it's a woman.
What if he's like a really hot guy?
The
Oh,
fuck?
no.
Yeah, you're eyeballing them all
Now
night.
there's
across
lots
the
of
bar.
things. Like,
That's
there's so many
actually
things.
valid, though,
I thought the
because,
same
like,
Wait, actually, so question for you. I don't know where you fall on the whole like transgender in the bathroom thing. Do you think the concerns over transgender women going into women's and girls' bathrooms, do you think that that's a reasonable, because of your hesitance to be in a forest with a male, do you think that that's a reasonable position to take?
I mean, I think it's fine. I think it's fine up to the point where if there's like kids and stuff using that bathroom, and what if that, like, people do crazy stuff. Like, what if a man? Yeah, I can't talk about that on the. I can't even say that.
It would make
slope.
more
digging
sense.
yourself a
No
hole.
one's going to feel comfortable giving their authentic take, but I would not want a trans woman who has a penis coming into the bathroom with me either.
Yeah, it would make more
Personally, I'll be
sense
the one to
for
say
you
it. I think,
Okay.
especially if I have kids, not
Some
to
people just
say
do
that
crazy
every
stuff.
trans woman is like a essayer, because they're obviously not. But
Okay, got it. I do want to ask one question, and then we're going to move on topics. because this bear one always gets a little heavy. I do want to say rest in peace to that woman who was killed by the bear. Nick,
We
pull
said
that
it
up one more
earlier.
time.
Okay, but I don't
Pull it
think
up
she
one more
chose.
time.
The Miller family.
She
I do
she
wanna say
wasn't
rest in
faced.
peace.
She wasn't faced with the
Pull it up.
predicament
No, it's not fine.
of man versus bear.
She didn't get to choose.
She was
The
71.
back news articles back. Let me know when
I
you
wonder
have
if she
it.
fell asleep eating peanut butter or something.
It's just like what's crazy to me is right.
Just-
y'all
why would a bear
will,
do that?
yeah. So rest in peace. If anybody's new tuning in, a woman first fatal bear attack in California. So this is local to us here in California. So R.I.P. to that lady, man.
R.I.P.
But y'all
We're in
will
the
go to a
Matrix.
bar filled with random men. Y'all will go home and hook up with random men.
That's
That's
why.
what's crazy to me.
That's why it's irrational.
That's why I don't
It's
go to the
irrational.
bar.
Yeah, when I first heard it, I was like,
Choosing
obviously the bear.
And
But I
Let's
get,
see.
but I get, what, I get the
Randomized
social thing that
man,
people
not
are
the
trying
one
to
you
shed
choose.
light on. Like, I get it, but realistically, come on now, you're not going to choose the fucking bear.
No, it's basically just like social signaling
It's
Yes.
stupid.
to be like, we don't like men, basically.
Yeah.
I would never say that I don't like men.
necessarily think it's that they don't like men. I think they're just trying to shed light on a problem and put it into
Maybe-
a perspective.
I just think an
But
animal
some of them don't
is
like men.
easier to predict
Their
than a man
behavior.
with a brain that is very complex. A bear, I know if I poke it with a stick, I'm probably gonna piss it off, and then it's probably gonna
Even
try
if
and
you
kill
don't
me.
poke it with a stick.
It's a bear. It's a 1,300
Okay,
pound
animals.
animal
Chasing you. My
that's willing
How
to
many-
kill you.
You said you've seen bears in person. They never bothered you. You've seen bears in person. They've never bothered you. Me, like any of us could say. I mean, what are the chances of a man bothering you out in public?
Would you rather interact with a
Higher than the bear, probably.
I think it's about the danger, though, is the point here.
Would
right?
you-
Does that make sense?
Okay,
Like,
can we
the
say
actual
if a bear
danger.
was going to attack you and a man was going to attack you, who would you rather attack?
like
you?
a bear's not
Obviously,
gonna
man.
catcall me, but like
Women
you know
will
what I
still
mean?
say bear.
Because they're
Okay,
dumb.
they're just
Well, the bear will just kill me, but who knows? The man could
I did see
torture
some
me
things
What
and
if-
like that.
Okay.
you know, do all
Oh,
kinds of depraved shit.
Is there a difference
But
between
you'll
bleeding
live.
out
You may
and
live though.
you know
like
what's
the bear is really
what's the
gonna kill
difference?
you.
That's true.
can live
And
with
also,
some
the
trauma.
bear will eat you alive. too,
Exactly.
so.
Probably slowly.
A slow
yes,
death.
like
Yes.
Ripping your arm off and just
All right,
gnawing
this
on
is,
that for a minute.
so this is kind of-
You're just kind of crawling there,
Enjoy
like.
it.
So this is kind of a heavy
myself.
question, but I'm just really curious to know because I want to better understand like the female psyche on this, and I don't want to linger on it just because it's kind of heavy. But like, so would you rather be SA'd or killed?
Essayed.
Essayed.
I said,
Essay.
Essayed.
Sounds like
yeah,
collectively we all would rather
yeah,
be.
yeah.
therefore you choose the man.
Well, there's no okay. It doesn't mean
Choose
dark.
that
Thank
by
you.
a rich
Next.
man so I can sue them. Yeah.
Well, you don't have evidence. That's the whole part of like being in the woods. Is like, I mean, I guess
my-
you can go get a kit done immediately.
Wait, can I ask a
I would
question?
choose the
You're not
man
being
because I
held
support
up.
the
What you
Second
got?
Amendment.
What you
Okay,
got?
would you rather encounter a female tweaker or a sober man that's like normal?
A fucking sober man.
Sober man.
Okay.
Sober man.
Yeah, drugs.
I've seen some people do some crazy. I saw some guy peeing on himself the other day
I'll take the tweaker.
in LA.
You'll
can-
take the
Dang.
tweaker?
Yeah, body slammer.
I have a question.
No, they get back
Wait,
up. Listen,
hold
I'm
on.
not a tweaker.
I just thought of
There's
a good
videos
one.
of
I
it.
just thought of a good
Bitch
one.
kept getting up.
Okay, if there was a bear in your home, let's say you're, I don't know, you're in a fucking cabin or some shit, would you call the police or animal control?
Wait, if there was a bear
I would call the police. I
If
don't know
there was-
animal control's
If a bear
number.
broke into your home, trying to break into your home, maybe it smelled some food in there or something.
Animal
I don't know, you
control?
left a screen door, you left the screen door, it opened it up, whatever. If there's a bear in a home, would you call the police or animal control?
Animal control.
Animal control.
Well, I'm not asking would you call the police or like you'd call one of
you
one
would
of them.
call one of them.
Okay.
Animal control.
And a man would show up. To take
Potentially.
you from-
Potentially.
Yep.
That's a good point. That's true.